All right, ladies and gentlemen, how are you doing today? Styling here, doing an install on our front decal for the bumper. Got my little helper here that's finally made it in time to help us get this video together. So we're gonna go ahead and get it started. Things that you'll need: some scissors, some rubbing alcohol. The higher the percentage, the better. Ours is at 91%. A rag. You'll need a spray bottle with some soap. I recommend that for every 12 ounces you put 5 to 10 drops of soap in there, so that way it's nice and soapy. Then you'll need your sling. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take the rubbing alcohol, squirt it on a rag pretty generously, and rub out as much as we can the inside of our inset here to get it nice and clean. We don't want any debris, dirt, bugs, anything like that. It'll also take off wax if you wax the front of your bumper. You don't want that wax underneath there because then the decal won't stick to it as well. And once it gets hot, it'll slide around from the sun and the wax. So I've already removed my first one out of there. I had a glitter one in there, a UV protected one. We took it out prior to this video. Now we're just getting the glue out as best as we can. Spend a few minutes doing this. You want to get it in there real nice and good and make sure it's extra clean. That way you don't leave any residue behind from the last one. We'll even try and get some of these bugs off of here. Alright, so that looks pretty good. Now, what we're going to do is I recommend after you get it done, we're going to do the glitter decals first. I recommend cutting them, but on the glitter ones you don't necessarily have to because these are nice and thick and they're pretty stiff. So if you want, you can use the soapy water for this application. It's not really necessary because these don't adhere until you really apply pressure and set them in. And then once the sun gets to them, maybe after about an hour or so, it heats up the sticker and they sit in there nice and neat. So you don't really need this for this application. You will for these Oracal decals. We're going to put these slower red ones in here first because we're just going to be ripping them out to show you the next set that we'll do. And since these are going to make my Slingshot go about 10 to 20 miles an hour slower, we don't want those in there. We don't want them to stay. So for you red guys, sorry. You're just going to line it up with the front of the bumper as best you can. Get it on there like so. Pull my finger out of there and then just press it in. Just like that. Apply a little pressure, get it in there nice and firm all the way around. And you are done. Okay, there's the first one. The tricky one is the O because it's cut real close to the centers or to the edges, and it gets a little difficult. But if you peel it off nice and slow, comes off really thick, really easy to handle. Stick it right over the star. You want to get it in there as best you can. I usually line it up on the edge and make sure that that first line is in its right spot, and then the rest will just simply follow. Once you press it down and add pressure, it's going to be set. You don't want to try and lift this out. You want to try and get it nailed on the first try. If you don't get it nailed on the first try and you actually end up tearing one, let us know, email us, PM us, and I don't mind cutting a sticker for some of the rookies who are trying to do this. I know sometimes it can be a pain in the ass, but we'll go ahead and cut you out whatever one letter you need and send it to you free of charge. Same thing with the L. Just like so, line it up, stick it in there. They're pretty pliable, they kind of adhere and they'll move to the inset. That's one thing that I found since I've been doing this on a number of Slingshots that we put these on here locally and then to who we've sent them to. When Polaris did this front mold, I don't know, all the great things that Polaris has done to our machines. One of the other things that they've also decided to do was the molds are a little different. Some of the A's aren't cut exactly right, so they don't line up with the sticker. I cut the stickers the exact same way every time. But as we've been putting them on more and more machines, they've been lining up differently. So the earlier model ones, so the red, between December, early 2014, 15, January, they're a little different. Some of the 2016s I haven't really had a problem with, but we did have to come up with a different decal for that. So now we'll stick that in there. If you have a 2016 and you have problems with the decal that I send you, again, let us know. Take a picture of it so that way we can make any adjustments. But we've seemed to have gotten them pretty set on now to where they fit all the models pretty well. And then Polaris has gotten a little better with putting them out as far as making the same mold for every front end. Alright, so we're almost done here. We got the R. It's going to go in just like that. Move my fat finger out of the way. Kind of push it in. Get it in there nice and pretty. Now these decals, these are the non-UV protected decals. They will last. The red, I haven't had the experience of putting these on. This is the first time. But so I don't know exactly how long these ones will last. Hopefully in a few months, Cameron Roberts can chime in and say how his are doing, or some of the earlier guys from that Dark Side forum who I've sold them to might be on our new forum and help us out with how long they've had theirs. For the most part though, the purple ones, unfortunately, like I've said, fade the fastest. They want to turn to lavender almost 3 months after I set them in there. So, alright, so nice and flush. The A can probably get shoved over a little bit more. And it's in. Perfect. Okay, so as long as you're not pressure washing these and applying full force pressure onto the front of the Slingshot when you're washing, it should be fine. There won't be any problems with these. I've had mine up to about 120, 130 miles an hour jamming down the freeway. That's not self-incriminating, by the way. You can't prove it. And they've stayed on fine. We've had no issues with them. I think they take the beating from the wind, and then the sun kind of helps fade them a little bit faster. But like I said, after they start to fade, your next set is only $6. So if you have any problems with any of the decals, go ahead and give us a call or give us a message, PM, email, however you'd like to get a hold of us. We can get you out another letter if one decides to tear or give loose. And that's it. Our next video will be how to install these chrome ones, which I think I'm going to leave for a little while and kind of test and see how they do. So we're going to pop out these red ones, and we'll be right back with our next video. Thank you.